It is our day to talk about Riverdale Schools on WRCO. Joining us today will be District Administrator Jeff Campbell. We have Candy Lee, elementary art teacher. Also, we have Spanish teacher Carrie Pope. And we have Abby Goodman, second grade teacher in the Riverdale District. Jeff, you brought more friends along with you today. Good to see you.
You bet. Another nice group of staff that we have here. And they'll touch on a big night that we have coming up Thursday night, which would be tomorrow night. Now it's fast approaching, our Riverdale Showcase night. All of them have some role in that, and it's a great way to kind of showcase our district and the many programs that we have within our district. So.
We'll look forward to that. Has Kurt Thompson shoveled off the baseball field yet? Or?
Yeah, we're a little disappointed with that. We thought the track started outside. We thought we're in great shape. We'll have the first game ready to roll. And, fortunately our track begins their season indoors this weekend at lacrosse. So I think that's a good thing. But, yeah, that's unfortunate that the snow hit us pretty good. But I think in our area we lucked out compared to what was up north. So
yes, we did. And I think you guys might have had just a little bit less than we had here, too.
Yep. So it'll all melt here in the next week or so, and then we'll get back out there and start using those outside facilities again.
Is there some state testing going on?
We do. We just had we had a virtual day for weather on Monday, but then our junior high school, we've done this now for a couple years. We did a virtual day yesterday for our juniors and seniors so that we could give a kind of a nice testing environment for our pre-ACT, and which is given to our 9th and 10th graders, and then also for our 7th and 8th graders to start their forward testing. So one thing that we've kind of over the years looked at the scheduling. It's always, state testing is something you have to do, and we want to try to eliminate as many distractions as we possibly can within the school day, which is tough to do. So we came up with the idea of trying to knock out a lot of the state testing with, the virtual days, because we do have the capability of that now. And we did it with our ACT. We started with that a couple years ago and have continued that. And now we added with our pre-ACT and our forward. And we were able to take care of a lot of our state testing yesterday for those 7th through 10th graders. We'll have it all finished up before they head to spring break, at least on our junior high school level. And then our elementary has started, and they'll continue through the month of April. But, we did a virtual day for our ACT the Tuesday before, and that was a virtual day for our 7 through 10 and our 12th graders. Our 12th graders actually went on their senior trip during that time too, so it worked out really well that way. They can get that in. They went up to Minnesota and had a great time up there, Mall of America. But it allowed our juniors kind of a day to focus on that ACT, which is a big test for a lot of the kids and a lot of for our district also moving forward. So that has been a success, and we've really the staff and like it, and what it allows too is it allows our staff to get more involved in the testing. We're able to have more breakout rooms and things we have to have, smaller groups for the testing, and it's just a day of testing that you can throw in there and get a lot of that out of the way.
State testing is important for the students, obviously, but it's important for your district, too, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It gives us, it's always that one-day snapshot or over a couple days snapshot, and we want to make sure that, the kids understand the importance of it, and it's like going in to make sure that the district's hitting what they need to be hitting on. And it gives us some very valuable feedback, and a lot of that then we make changes on into the next year as far as curriculum goes in those subject areas. So it is, and then it comes back to our state report card. So it's one of those things. It's like it's a one-day snapshot, but it also it's not everything, but it gives us a lot of great feedback that we can make adjustments and changes moving into the next school year of ways that we can readjust the way we approach things and the way some of the deficiencies we see, but also some of the things that we're doing really, really well too, and so that we can continue to carry on in those areas.
COVID was good for nothing, but coming from that, I don't know if we'd have virtual days as we do now had we not lived through that time, right?
Yeah, that's very true. So if you have to take a positive out of it, that might be the only positive out of it, but we feel like now we're able to do a lot more that that way. And the other thing too with the virtual days, it allows the kids to have that educational experience and allows us to not have to add on days at the end of our school year for snow days. And then we know how kids can get pretty anxious in that June time, and staff. And this allows us to keep that learning going during that time. We also have it set up that we understand some of our families struggle with that. They struggle with the virtual side of things, maybe internet and that. So we allow them, an extra day if they aren't able to do everything that they are assigned. They come back and they have another day if they need to work on it there at the school with the support of the staff member right there. But our staff is available the entire day for the students. Some of our advanced classes and that, some of them might hold live classes, just because it's a college level class that they have to continue on with the content in a deeper area, and they might have an AP test coming up. So we have that opportunity to offer that also. And then, if a kid's struggling or something, they want to jump on by Zoom, the staff members there, they can jump on and they can explain things by phone or by email. And it's just it's a way that when you talk about the positives out of COVID, I guess that was. And it another thing that happened is, with that became our virtual programming. We have a virtual program for our students that students go year round in, and that has been a positive too, because every kid has a certain pathway that they want that's best for them. And so we have I think we're at about 9 or 10 students right now from 7th grade through 12th grade that do our virtual program year round. So that's what they do year round. Working through our Edmentum program, we have a coordinator that runs that in our district, and it works for a couple students. Maybe they have a situation that needs to they just need to be out of school for a period of time, and it's worked well. We've had some people that decide they, athletic reasons, they have to go travel. I think we had a wrestler a couple years ago that did that. He traveled overseas a lot second semester, so he did that as far as his schooling and his programming, and allowed him to continue to compete at that international level and still be part of the Riverdale School District. So a lot of things have come from it, but hopefully weather days, this will be our last virtual day of the school year, was this Monday. So
I was wondering when I drove in this morning if this is the last day we drive in snowy roads.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I told the kids coming in this morning, the elementary kids, I said, this is it. It's going to be melted by the weekend, and then we're rolling into spring. This has to be the last one. So
we're good to go.
We're good.
When is the last day of classes this year?
We will go to the last Friday in June, or the first Friday in June, I should say. I think it's around the 4th or somewhere in that range, whatever that first Friday in June is. That's where we go. Next year, we've kind of changed our calendar a little bit to get us out on that holiday weekend. Another thing we're doing a little bit different this year is we're graduating on Friday night. The first time that we've done that. We're going to do that for the next 2 years and then get some feedback on that and see if that's something we continue or if we go back to the Saturday graduation. It just works out logistically a lot better for us and some of our staff and that, and the way we can set things up and get that done. So we'll give that a try over the next 2 years and see if that's something that we'll continue on. But, finishing on that weekend, that holiday weekend, kind of puts everybody at, the seniors don't like it, but that we're, finished on that weekend because they kind of like that they're out earlier than everybody else. But at least for, we're looking at, that's kind of a goal in the future, is to try to finish during that holiday weekend if we can. I know there's some legislation out there right now. There's some talk of possibly, the school year being able to start a little bit earlier than the September 1st. We'll see. I know that's been a discussion for a long time. We'll see if anything comes of that here as they close up their session. But right now, we're trying to aim for that in our next few calendars in the next couple of years.
Yeah, back in the day, graduation was always on Friday night, but then once in a while you'd run into a state track meet or a regional baseball game or something.
Yeah, that's the tough part too. We kind of this year it works out well, and I think next year does with the calendar. So we've got to weigh that option too, because it does give you that extra day flexibility with those things. And But we'll see. We'll see what works best for our community and our district and our staff, and we'll go with it. It's nice to try something a little bit different and see what comes out of it.
Well, you always have a theme when you bring along some staff members. What's the theme today, Jeff?
Yeah, so I think we want to kind of focus on the Riverdale Showcase. Candy will talk a lot about that. Carrie Pope, also in our Spanish area, has a role in that. All of our elementary classes do. So Abby will kind of talk about her, plus a little bit more that they're doing in second grade. But wanted to highlight it. I know Carrie and Candy work with the PLC within our school district with Jason Troxel. And Lenore Wilkie. Jason's in music, Lenore's in high school art. They work through a PLC within our district and kind of set this as their main goal for the year of organizing this. Really enjoy their feedback. We have a number of other people that jump on the team, and I'm just there at the meetings to, I guess, just to make sure the facilities are reserved at the time they're supposed to be. But we have some amazing people behind the scenes that just put this together, and they're some of the main people that get us ready for this great night we have coming up tomorrow night.
We welcome back Candy Lee, who was here a year ago. He must not have scared you off. Good to have you back.
No.
So are you looking forward to this?
Well, it's going to be a big experience. I said it's the first year we're doing it at the high school. So we've always had it at our other building. So it's a different order of business, but we've got it well organized. And the elementary art, which I'll speak to specifically, don't miss us. We're way down at the end of the long hallway. We're going to be in the library this time, and we'll be opposite the book fair, which will be well attended, I'm certain. But we're all set up and ready to go. And I said we've been trying to showcase everybody at the high school, which is a big deal, which is why we're doing it at the high school, so that we can get more of the staff involved there and the programming. So it should be a hit. I'm excited. It's a change, and I like change. So I think I'm ready to roll with it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Lots of times people with your tenure don't always like change.
No,
so.
this will be refreshing, I think. I've had about 15 years of these different experiences, and this will be a highlight, I think. So I'm ready.
Awesome. But overall, 50 plus years of teaching. That's incredible.
Well, 52. Give me my two.
Okay, I will.
I mean, don't short me here.
50 plus is close, but 52, that's awesome.
Well, that's it makes it run smoothly.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what still gets you up in the morning and gets you excited about
Well, I
it?
suppose it's the kids. That's why I come. So I'd say that continues. The staff, of course, I work with them well, but I said I do enjoy the kids. And as long as that stays on, I said I'm going to stay there. So.
The school years go by really quickly, don't they?
Unfortunately, yeah. 52 years, it's like smoke right now.
What about this year? Has it been a good year?
So far, yeah. Oh, yeah, it's been a great year. I said I wish we had more walls because we filled them up pretty much in our elementary building, but the kids like to do murals, big deal stuff, and we've kind of run out of walls, but we still find ways to keep them working, so.
Keep them going.
Yeah, it works good.
What's your favorite part of art to teach?
Well, right now, it's actually turned into those little 4-year-olds, that 4K area. I got put into it a couple of years ago. I thought I'd die. They're so short. They can't open anything, or close anything. So you're constantly down, and the chairs are way down here. I always think I'm short, but not till I get in that room. But now that I'm working with them in their room, they're just incredible. It's just fun to be in that beginning, I guess.
So what do you teach them at the 4K level?
Well, we just did, because we had St. Patty's Day, I just divided up their paper into a lot of 2-inch squares, and they just had to do shades of green, and we just kept painting shades of green in these little squares, and it was great. It worked out perfectly, and it was right on the mark of St. Pat's Day, so it worked out great. They all left with green fingers, and I did my job. They had fun.
We were talking about virtual. How do you teach art virtually?
Not very well. Well, I would admit that right up front. It's really difficult. But we do have a way right now where they get to do some stuff outside of class, but bringing it back and turning it in is where to evaluate something like that's next. But keep doing it, okay? I want you to know we want you to keep doing your projects that you've been given. Yeah.
All I could think of was an Etch-a-Sketch or something, something on the video screen.
Well, that would get expensive for us.
Lots of things in education have changed over the time that you've been an educator, but has art, has that changed very much?
Well, it could. There are some districts that get a little bit more into animation and things on the computer. We don't. We're going old school, and it's not because I'm so much old school as those skills really need to be there. We've got kids that can't tie a shoelace right now. I mean, it's not because they don't want to. They really need help tying them. So we've got to keep the motor skills coming, and that happens with paint. That happens with cutting, pasting, all those kind of things. And we still get the enjoyment of having something when we get done with it to look at. So the computers have been my bigger problem, but
a problem.
Well,
Yeah.
it's sort of a problem, yeah, because they want me to do extra things and put
yes.
stuff in, and that's kind of over the top when I'm doing with the other stuff. But I'm hanging on.
But it's in terms of drawing and painting and all of that stuff, that's
I don't
not.
do any of that on computer. No,
No.
they do it in their tech lab, so they get into that a little bit. But it's too easy. I'm sorry.
So that's not changed over
Not
the years.
in my
then?
program,
No. So your history at Riverdale. Do you remember who hired you with the Riverdale
Oh my
District
gosh,
all those years
they've
ago?
been gone for so long. Esser, I think it was.
Okay, sure.
That was quite a while ago, and he left the day I showed up. It was unreal. Well, I went through the interview process, and then I came in, and everybody was gone. We started with a skeletal staff that year. It was kind of interesting, and I said, well, I hope I'm in the right place, because I made choices on who I met and everything, and it was. But we all did well. That's one thing Riverdale staff, I think, does, is they hang together and they represent each other well. So that's a plus.
Have you always taught the elementary part of it?
No, I've taught K through 12. I've done high school. Did K-8 for many years. Now I'm K4 to 6 right now because they moved our 7th and 8th graders over to the high school, which at first I hated. I miss them. I miss my 7th and 8th graders. They have all the skills I want to, but I'm bringing the skills up of my 6th graders, so it's working out. But I do miss them, and they definitely have a snapback that you really enjoy, and it keeps you on your toes,
I bet.
So I miss them, but it's still fun, and they haven't lost anything, no.
Anything you want to add about the showcase tomorrow night, or what we should look for?
It's going to be incredible. They'll have hot dogs. They'll have hot dogs. I always like to kind of put that in there because they do show up for those. We're going to have musical experiences on one end of the bin. We're going to slide through and have hot dogs. Then we go up the long hallway. We got a book fair. We've got my art show, which is going to be well positioned. I think it's going to be impressive. So come and see us. My 6th graders have clay masks that they'll be showing and sharing, and we just got them done right under the wire, which I appreciated. The kiln was firing day and night for a while, but right now we're hot and ready to roll.
That's tomorrow night. What are the hours again?
4:30 to 7, I think.
Yeah, 5 to 7 will be the
5 to 7. I'm just thinking of my time. I guess I'll be there.
And one final question there. Again, we're talking about your 52-year history. What kind of an art student was Jeff Campbell? Do you remember? Was he very creative?
Well, he was a great student. Yes,
He was.
Yes, he had great parents, and they stepped right in. And if there was ever a problem, it would have been stopped or halted, But I worked with all of them, and it was, good parenting is the mark we need. It really is.
Yeah.
Need to be on board. But he did everything I asked.
Well said. All right. We'll be back with more in a moment. We'll talk about Riverdale's showcase. We got a couple of more teachers to talk to. Carrie Pope is here along with Abby Goodman, and we'll have more in a moment when the morning show continues. Welcome back to our morning show. We're talking to some of the great staff members of Riverdale Schools. Let's talk to Abby Goodman next, 2nd grade teacher. Could you talk about your role at Riverdale?
Yeah, I've been at Riverdale for 14 years, and I've been fortunate enough to be in 2nd grade for 13 of those years. So
You haven't passed yet.
no, I guess not.
So what's going on in the 2nd grade classroom now?
Right now, we are wrapping up one of our staples in 2nd grade, which is the Iditarod unit. It actually finished last night, so this morning the kids were rushing in. We were tracking one musher, and he finished last night, so they were bummed that they didn't get to see it live. But this morning when they came in, we were able to see some mushers cross the finish line. So they were clapping and cheering, and then one of my students said, "Wait, I don't think they can hear us." But it was still cute to see how excited they got. Actually, a few of our students were able to, or picked the musher that was placed first and third, so they were excited about that. But yeah, our Iditarod unit started about a month ago with a live Zoom meeting with a park ranger from the Denali National Park in Alaska, and she was able to inform the students how they still use sled dogs today in the park. And then from there, the kids were hooked. We learned about the state of Alaska. We learned about what the mushers need in their sled, what are the rules of the race, how they take care of the dogs, why the race was started in the first place. And then before the race started, they were each able to pick their own musher. So they had to do some research. A few of them went back and they wanted to see, how this person placed in the last 10 years. So there was some competitive edge there going on. And then every morning they get to come in and they see what checkpoints their mushers have reached. They get to see how fast they're moving on the trail, and they get to see how many dogs they have left. And we were really fortunate with the help of the Riverdale Education Foundation. They gave us a grant for second grade that we were able to get a live subscription. So we are able to watch checkpoints live. We're able to see a full map with GPS on all the mushers. So it's been really great for the kids to have that interactive experience. And it's something that they really have looked forward to. It's great to see kids come back that are in seventh, or sixth grade, or even some kids that are in high school. They're like, oh, hey, I remember that unit. I remember that musher that I picked. So it's definitely a great activity that they will remember. And then last week they were able to create their own dog sled, which will be at the Fine Arts Night. They were able to team up with 3 other kids. They had to prepare a dog sled that they think would hold cargo, which is AKA pom-poms that we put in there. But those will be on display at the Fine Arts Night on Thursday. So yeah.
I was at the awards banquet a couple of times for the foundation, but yours, that is something that I just was fascinated by.
Yeah.
I'd love to be a fly on the wall and watch this.
Yeah, it's definitely, from the time we start a month ago, where they have no clue what the Iditarod is, they are really all in at this point. Last night I had one student who his musher wasn't first. He's like, I just stared at my dad's computer. I just wanted to know when he was going to finish. And they have to keep in mind that Alaska, the time difference is there. So, that's what we have to think about when we are tracking our mushers. Like, why aren't they moving? Well, they're sleeping right now, So it's been a great activity, something that I think they will really remember for years to come. So that's our goal in second grade.
Yeah, and what do you hope that they learn from it and maybe take to other parts of their life?
Well, I think, it's definitely something that's actually happening. It's something that when they hear about it in the news for years to come, I think they'll remember just the different checkpoints, the different towns in Alaska. We've talked about the state of Alaska. Now they're doing a state research project. So we're all kind of tying it into different aspects of our curriculum, math, tracking how fast they're going, how many miles they've went, how many miles they have left. So I just think it's a fun activity that we can pull in a bunch of different science, social studies, math, reading. It's just a great way for them to learn, I think.
Tell me about book trivia.
Yeah, so last year we started book trivia. We didn't really know how it was going to go, but the day of the trivia event, it was great to see students with other kids that they aren't normally with, the cheering, the collaboration, the running in the hall to get to the score table. It was a great activity, so we decided to bring it back this year. And this year it's going to be actually bigger than it was last year, thanks to some support. We received 2 major grants. The Riverdale Education Foundation gave us some funds, and then also our reading coach, Lynn Terrell, received the Trifecta grant. So with those funds, we're able to purchase more books that students can check out. And then we will also have funding for refreshments, door prizes, awards. And our goal is to make reading fun. So they will have, this year's theme is Twisted Tales. So they're going to get a list of about 20 books that's, a fun take on the classic fairy tales that they're used to. And they will be put on a team with about 8 to 10 kids. So our younger kids get a chance to kind of look up to our older kids. And they'll have about a month to practice these books, read them, listen to them, and then we'll have some practice events, and then our live event will be in May. That's kind of when kids start thinking about summer. They kind of, get that summer fever. So we're hoping by having this event later in the school year, they're still engaged. They're wanting to go home and read books at night. And I think it's just a great way to end the school year as well. Yeah.
What book are the students fighting over the most right now?
So we haven't started yet.
Okay.
So we will start checking out in April.
All right.
But I think last year we had, it was more, the nonfiction. And this year I think it'll be a different genre, definitely, with the fairy tales. So there's some shorter books, some longer books. I think it's something for everyone, for sure. But it is great to see how many books do get checked out in the morning. It was kind of a rat race last year, who could get to their books first. But this year, hopefully, with all those funds, we will have more copies available. So there isn't going to be, a kid that shows up like, oh, I just need that book. And hopefully we have a copy there. We're also working with the Muscoda Public Library. They are going to have copies there for kids to check out. And then we will have books online through the Riverdale website that kids can listen to. So a variety of ways that they can have those books at their fingertips when they need them.
Can you talk about some other activities, Abby, that the second graders are a part of this year?
Yeah, so right now we're getting ready for our egg drop next when we come back from spring break. So students will become engineers. They'll have to make a container that will support an egg being dropped off from the school roof. Some other activities that we've done, the balloons over Broadway. Mr. Troxel was nice enough to bring the band over to make it actually seem like a parade. The kids got really excited about that. We do different activities with Mrs. Coe through the school farm. We go over and plant flowers. So I think overall, and I'm really fortunate to be on a second grade team where we all kind of have that same vision of making activities meaningful. We want to make sure that kids leave with the skills that they need from second grade, but also to make learning fun and just to make, projects that are hands-on and things that they're going to remember, great memories for them to look back on. So that's our goal. We tend to get some ideas and then we're like, okay, we're going for it. And like Candy said, I think at Riverdale, all the teachers are willing to help out. We have 18 different teams for trivia, which requires a lot of teachers to give up their time and to volunteer and take a group. So we're really fortunate that when we have an idea, we can ask some other staff members at Riverdale, and they are more than willing to help us out. So.
And by the way, how far do you drop the egg from?
Mr. Redman, he loves this every year. He lets us up on the roof, and we have to carry crates. We tell them no bigger than a shoebox, but some year kids don't get that memo. So we have to take a few trips up there, but it is fun to, drop them because I don't think they realize how high up we are. But then when we drop them and we hear that crunch, sometimes we end up with some tears. Their egg doesn't survive. So we have to tell them ahead of time, there is a possibility when we open your container, it's not going to survive. So yeah, it's a fun day, a lot of cheering, like I said, a few tears, but overall it's something that they definitely remember. Yeah.
Sounds like something I should broadcast.
Yeah, no kidding. That would be great.
Well, good luck with that.
Yeah, thank you.
That should be awesome. Carrie Pope is here, Spanish teacher at Riverdale. Good morning.
Good morning.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and your role at Riverdale.
Yeah, actually, this is my second year as the Spanish teacher at Riverdale. I had previously been teaching Spanish at Ithaca for many, many years. The Spanish program at Riverdale consists of Spanish levels 1 through 4. Also have an introductory or quarter course for our 8th graders. Just give them a little taste of what Spanish class will be like. In the Spanish program, I emphasize a lot of hands-on projects, art projects, and those will be some items that will be showcased at our showcase night. My level 2 students are currently working on some piñatas as I speak and making a terrible mess in my classroom at the moment, but it's all worth it because they, as Abby mentioned, we like to make those experiences matter and have fun in the classroom too, so it's not just vocabulary and grammar all the time. Now my level 4 class actually is a CAP class. CAP stands for Cooperative Academic Partnership Program that we have with UW Oshkosh. The class is an equivalent of a second semester college class. The students must maintain a B or higher grade average, and the curriculum must be approved by UW Oshkosh. And instructors have a mentor that we work with one-on-one, also have observations now and again. The students are very fortunate in that they are able to earn up to 5 college credits after completion, which is really amazing and a wonderful opportunity for our students. And if they keep that B or higher, then those 5 credits are transferable to any UW system school. So it's a really exciting opportunity for them. It's pretty rigorous. I expect a lot out of the kids, but of course it is a college class.
I see. And in terms of the students that take Spanish too, it has to be rewarding when somebody comes back to you and says, they were able to use this in everyday life, right?
Yes, I've had numerous students throughout the years come back and just say, "Oh, Senora," because I go by Senora Pope. They'll come back and say, "Oh, I had this experience, at Walmart, and I was able to help, these people, these shoppers, and it was a really good experience, and I felt great that I was able to help them." Or, we were on vacation and I could understand what they were saying, and it's just kind of that light bulb moment where what you're doing in the classroom is they can see that, oh, this is actually a skill that I'm going to use outside of the classroom, the Spanish classroom. So, it's I hear that a lot, and it always makes me really happy to have that light bulb moment happen with the students.
Foreign language, is that still sometimes a requirement for college applications?
It is. Mm-hmm. It is, yes. For most schools in Wisconsin, they require 2 years, and some require, I know UW-Eau Claire, UW-Madison require at least 3 years.
Wow.
Yes.
Tell me about Spanish Club at Riverdale.
Spanish Club, in the past, what I've done with that is it's been a club of students that are interested in traveling. And that is our time to prepare, fundraise, and study and speak as much Spanish as possible. I have in the past taken students twice to Costa Rica, and I'm tentatively hoping to have a trip for Riverdale within the next couple summers. I have some students that just really would just excel at that opportunity. And these opportunities afford students to live with a family. We volunteer for a day. Students may choose between numerous activities. We go zip lining, rafting, and just see some amazing places. So it's an incredible opportunity, and I really would like to offer that for our Riverdale students.
And I would think for students, they have a chance to become a little bit more fluent in Spanish as well.
Yes, and I've had a lot of students that had traveled before, they said that their most favorite time was their stay with the family. I think that's usually their most nervous part of it, to actually try out their Spanish, but they usually come back and say that was the most enjoyable part of the trip. Was to meet the family and be able to speak one-on-one and make connections. And then just to be in another culture and to actually, see those differences and similarities, I think is just a win-win for these students.
Well, you have plans down the road for some fundraisers and those kind of things?
Yes. It does take a lot of fundraising. I've had some success with raffles in the past, so that's definitely something I will be starting sooner than later. But yes, it does take a whole lot of help and fundraising.
Tell us about plans for the Riverdale Showcase tomorrow night.
Showcase. We're excited about that. Spanish room is going to be open, and in the hallways outside there will be piñatas hanging from the rafters, and there will be a lot of projects from this past school year. The students made ofrendas during Day of the Dead. They are currently making alebrijes, which are spirit animals for those that know the movie Coco. So we just like to take the cultural aspects and just, put a little bit of a art spin to that sometimes and make some visuals out of it. And the students really, really enjoy that. But those will all be showcased tomorrow night at Showcase Night.
Any chance somebody's going to hit the piñata prematurely today? Or?
There may be that chance for sure. Sure. They'll have to see which ones have candy and which ones don't. So that might be the surprise.
Some don't.
Some don't. Some don't. Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. Anything else you want to add today?
Please just, if you have a moment, please come to Showcase Night. We have some really interesting student projects, and it'll be very, very enjoyable for everyone.
Great. Well, great to have you on the morning show
Thank you.
today as well. Mr. Campbell, sounds like things are in the works for a really good night tomorrow night.
Yeah, it should be, and I'm really excited kind of with the change of the venue a little bit. We don't get an opportunity to showcase our junior high school as much, the building itself, with a lot of our events, pretty much all of our high school sporting events over there at the elementary building, which is a phenomenal facility in itself. But we've done some upgrades with our junior high school, thanks to our community passing some referendum projects over the past couple of years that people are going to want to come out and just kind of see the building itself. And I think the team that put this together have, it's a little smaller building, but don't let that deter you, because we've got plenty of space and everything for all the activities, and it's going to give everybody the opportunity to get in that building and really see the changes that we've had over the past, just say 10 years, from our multi-purpose building to our ag addition onto our 4-classroom addition we have in our junior high wing. Just an opportunity for people to take in what that building has to offer. And it was nice. I know it's very difficult for our elementary staff and to bring over their stuff. It's a lot easier to move the bigger kids' stuff, but we appreciate them and Candy and the staff working with us to be able to showcase that building for an evening.
We mentioned a few times the Riverdale Community Education Foundation. They have another fundraiser coming up.
They sure do. Yeah, they got their bowling fundraiser coming up on the 29th, Sunday the 29th at Boscobel Bowling Alley. Always a great way to give back. As you heard, all of them touch on things that the foundation has done for our school district. And I think throughout the groups that I've had here, they've touched many of our guests that we've had here. 2 big events they did. I think I talked briefly about it. It's completed now. They helped fund a ski trip for our junior high school students, or our high school students, I should say, where we had over 50 kids go skiing, and a lot of first-time skiers, and a lot of them enjoyed it so much they went back on the weekend and did it again. So I think it's a lifelong skill that kids can use, and just an opportunity that they were able to fund up front a little bit. The kids pitched in a little bit. Each kid did too, but the foundation was able to do that. And also, for the second year in a row, they're going to do our 6th grade brewer trip this year as kind of an ending, transitioning from the elementary school over to our junior high building, change of buildings. So it's kind of become we want to kind of make it a yearly thing, and we take them to a brewer game in May. They get to experience that, which a lot of kids don't get that opportunity. And once again, another thing that maybe they'll enjoy it so much, they'll talk to their family, and they'll get them back as a family again another time. So the foundation has, I speak very highly of those people, because a lot of them, the number of years, I think they're approaching almost 20 years that they've had this foundation going. Just tremendous individuals that work on there, that work, just give up their time to do it. And time's not an easy thing to give up, but they're always willing to put in the time every year. And these fundraisers are just a simple way to give back to that group, so they can continue to put that money forth towards our kids at Riverdale.
Coming up on spring break, Jeff.
We are, yeah. It's hard to believe looking outside, but spring break will be coming up the last week. We wrap it around Easter, so we have Good Friday and that Easter Monday, our holidays in our district, so those days are off, but it's wrapped through our spring break, so they'll come back on that Tuesday, and that will be the start of our 4th quarter, and it will run to the end of our school year. So it's fast approaching. I think people are very anxious, to get to that spring break, always are. It's nice to have that little break in there just to recharge for the last big push, because we have a ton of events coming up in April and May to celebrate our seniors going out, to celebrate some of our younger students, and some initiations into clubs and organizations for the following year. So it's going to be a big push. You throw in spring sports in there, and clubs and activities that will be participating. Our forensics goes to state in mid-February. FBLA goes the weekend before, or in February. I say mid-April, and then FBLA goes to state in Green Bay the week before that. So those clubs and organizations are hopping right now too, and it's like our kids are all over the place, and it's a busy time.
I had your FFA in here a few weeks ago as well. They've done well with their competitions.
They
always.
sure have. Yeah, they sure have, and they continue to be a highlight of our district and the things they're doing. And I think when they have success in things, it pushes into those other clubs, and it's those other clubs try to exemplify the same thing that they're doing with the involvement. And Carrie talked about some of the things she does with our Spanish program, which has just continued to be exemplary. And the excitement that she brings with a possible trip in the future. Next month we talk about an outdoor club. We'll bring in a guest, the person that runs that. They're talking about a trip. Just giving these kids opportunities that they normally might not get. And I think when you listen to Abby and Candy talk, it's about the connections, and then you have those connections that kids make with the district, the memories they make, and the realization when they come back, they're like, that was meaningful for me. And you can't put a price tag on that or anything else. Just the memories we can make with our students on a daily basis.
I appreciate you bringing the staff members in. It always kind of makes me, want to go back and re-enroll sometimes at school. Maybe you'd learn something this time.
Definitely, we'll take any time. We're always looking for more kids, so it'll be good.
Thanks a lot. We'll see you next month.
You bet. Appreciate it, Phil.
Jeff Campbell joining us earlier. We had, of course, elementary art teacher Candy Lee. We had Carrie Pope, Spanish teacher, Abby Goodman, second grade teacher in the Riverdale District. And don't forget, the Riverdale Showcase is going on tomorrow night. Starts at 4:30, you said, right?
Yeah, 5. Well, the meal and everything will start at 5 o'clock in the presentations. We've got it. And as they come in, they'll get a program. It has everything broken down for them and where everything is.
Wonderful. Thanks a lot, guys.
You bet. Thank you.